This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Welcome in the Morning Hookup. Happy Victory Wednesday. Phil Hooks, Will Wilson. Also back in studio, Henry T. Buchanan.
Am I muted?
You're
No,
good.
yeah, you're good. You're running through the mic.
Oh, okay.
We hear you just fine.
We're not
What's up,
allowed.
fellas?
We're not allowed to go through the computer.
Hey, what a weekend.
What a weekend, man. Yeah, we're going to recap your weekend as well. But welcome. What is running? You hear that?
Yeah, turn the volume down on the other computer there, if you can.
It's on mute.
Oh, crap. I forgot to do something.
Oh, you were told to do. All right, we got to pause because we're off the air right now. Jeff Moat took care of you. You said thumbs up. Not so much. Still beeping. Still beeping.
There we go. Now we're on.
Oh, there we go. Welcome back. Morning Hookup. Alex Wilson, Henry T. Buchanan.
My bad.
Hey, folks, that's what's called taking responsibility right there.
What's up, fellas?
Oh,
Hey, T.
man. We're going to look back on the weekend. T was in town the entire week. He leaves today, but we're fortunate to have him back with us. We're going to recap, look back at last night's game. Also, around 10:20ish, Coach Gary Bargen's going to join us on the Morning Hookup. A disciple hanging out with Coach Nee on the staff, and Coach T was T was there with him, not just with him here back in them Hutch days.
Absolutely. He was my first college coach, Derek Vick and I, and
Yeah.
we all came together.
Yes, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we talked to him last Friday, you and me.
We did.
T brought him over. Got to
Yeah.
talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, it was really nice talking at the banquet. It was it. I know a lot of guys out there that we've had on the show who take the time. T sends the link out to these guys, and I want to thank them because it was nice at the banquet to put the faces to the voices.
They
Because
were all
everybody
there.
we've had on there was at the banquet.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Came up, said hi to us. We spent some real time.
A few weren't there.
A few. But
Keith Newbert wasn't there.
Well, his daughter had a game.
Okay.
Plays for the University of San Diego. Bayless was in Vegas.
Yep.
Had to go see his mom. And
But we caught a lot of them. A lot of good
Yeah.
conversations. BC, we got to hang with BC for a few
yeah.
minutes. Great.
D Vic.
Dude, D Vic was at the table with us.
Yeah.
He was giving me a hard time because we do our research. And we know things. We know things. We know things about a lot. I did a little research on Coach Barg. I had some different questions to ask him.
Also,
As you know, we like to have a lot of fun, talk hoops with
Yeah.
former coach, former players. We also like get to know the person and bring things up on that. So also, if you get a chance right now, we are live at KFR Radio, at KFR Sports on Twitter and Facebook. You can also check us out now. T, I know you and I don't know this kind of stuff, but we have a YouTube page.
oh,
We're too old for that, but we have a YouTube page.
Kind of a big deal.
you
Yeah.
got to send me the link, man, or
Yeah.
let me know.
Oh, I got
you.
I'm old school, so
We got you because
and I need instructions.
You're pretty good at
I
figuring
need. Hey,
this
me
stuff
too.
out.
Me too.
You know, I'll click enough buttons and links, and I'll figure
You
it
get
out.
to where you need to be. Also, pay attention coming up, especially with the YouTube page coming up. Will's going to throw out a challenge next week.
Mhm.
So you could smash that like button,
That's right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Smash the like button. Getting a good little follow action going on there
Oh, that'd be fun.
coming up. So we got that. But, hey, fellas, last night at Pinnacle Bank Arena, your Nebraska Cornhuskers improved to 13-1 at home, moved to 5-4 in the conference. Updated KenPom because, you know, this is like reactionary time because they update the KenPom in the net. 45, man. You made a jump to 45 in the KenPom, 47 in the net.
Oh my goodness.
How about that? That securely put you in, as we talked about yesterday. A lot of projections right now, Nebraska being in, whether it be from an 8 through a 10. They're in as of right now.
It's exciting.
Okay, it's exciting
It's
times.
early.
Last night, boy, impressive. 83-69. Place was rocking, man. I know a little late arriving crowd. It's always tough for the 6 o'clock. It's tough for the 8, it's tough for the 6,
Yeah.
right? But I can tell you, I was hanging out last night downtown, and the places were packed.
Oh, absolutely.
Were packed. Saw T came rolling in, had his son with him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Johnny was hanging out.
Yeah.
You got to see all
Johnny
the
had-
dudes.
Yep. And then my son.
GIF.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Ziegler, one of the assistant coaches, and of course, first thing my son says is, my dad doesn't like to admit this, but I can outshoot him. And I've always said
Woo-wee.
it, but you know, I've always said he could. I'm just a better scorer, you know.
But
so
you take-
that's my response.
But you take credit in that, right?
I take pride in that.
Yeah, you taught him how to shoot, right?
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, he's watching me all his life, and
He's a disciple.
his junior year at IUPUI, he was the only player in the country to hit 8 3-pointers in 3 separate games.
My
Wow.
So
goodness.
he can fill it up.
Oh well,
Jeez.
that's a perfect segue because last night we had a gentleman and scholar dude. It looks like he is like one of the last picks at the YMCA last night. Mass coming off. By the way, when you look at the bounce back for him, he had not had 2 good games. I read he had been shooting 26% over that time with 7 total turnovers. Boy, what a bounce back last night. He set a career mark in points 34, made threes 6, made field goals 13, high in attempts 17, 21 points in the second half alone on 9 of 10 shooting. Rick Mass, special night for the big fella.
He balled out. It was funny. A good buddy of mine, classmate of mine, was sitting next to me, and he made a comment that Mass has officially surpassed Richard Van Pogies as the best Netherlands player to play at Nebraska.
Took a few years.
But he played great. It was pretty impressive, and from my vantage point, we saw every bucket come in. We were kind of sitting on that side behind the bench and just watching him, just watching his eyes. And when you get into that zone, I mean, the ball is big as a swimming pool.
It's just huge.
The basket is, and it's just.
There was a moment in that first half. I can't remember where it was on the court, but the dribble, drive, step back, whoop, whoop,
everything.
Like that's our big man.
I didn't know that was in his game.
That wasn't in there.
I didn't know he could do that.
No, he has it all. He has it all, and he's just finding himself, and I think he's getting more comfortable, and the guys feed into him, and and when your teammates is instilling that much confidence in you, you want to impress them as well. Not impress, you want to make them feel good about their decisions to give you the ball, and that's what that was all about. With Casey not having one of his better games,
Casey only managed a very few minutes last night. I mean, in hindsight of what he's normally done, maybe it's one of those nights just did not have it. Coach Hoiberg noticed it, and it was time just to hang out.
Well,
because he had a lot of people to back him up last night.
Oh, absolutely.
He had 2 fouls too,
early
on, which kind of got him to the bench. And Hoiberg was like, "Listen, man, I might just keep you here."
And he did for a long stretch in the second half because there's so much more that happened this game. Obviously, slow start for Nebraska. Ohio State early on, the first 3 or 4 minutes, got everything they wanted down low. Thornton was a thorn in our side last night for a long time until we're going to get to him. Because so many things happened after that. They went to the under 16 and came back, and it was like, all right, they woke up. Because I tweeted out, it felt like my kids in the morning when they wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Hey, why don't you take your little butt back upstairs and get off on the right side? I thought Nebraska maybe needed to go back to the locker room because the approach coming out wasn't what Coach Hoiberg wanted. Physicality not there, energy not quite there. But then they got jump-started, and I think it jump-started with a couple of guys.
Absolutely.
I think it jump-started with a couple of guys when you look at these 2 individuals that have now there's history of this happening. CJ Wilcher.
Oh, playing with superior confidence.
I mean,
right now.
come
the
on.
rim is huge to him right now.
Yes.
He could not miss.
CJ goes out there, and I would say this year, this is a highest minutes he's played all year long. He played 30 minutes last night, 6 of 12, 4 of 7 from 3, 16 points, 3 assists. He had a plus 20.
And he was productive from start to finish.
Yes. From jump. You got him going. You also had Bryce Williams, very, very aggressive.
Clutch.
I love the aggressiveness, hitting big shots, 27 minutes, 5 of 9 from the field, 7 rebounds, 14 points. Couple of turnovers that make you just want to go, with him, but you can't take that aggressive nature away from him in that game. But maybe the biggest factor last night, because Thornton last night, I mean, telling you, he was getting his for a long time, 34 minutes. He had 16 points, 6 assists. And it wasn't more of like the points production for him. He was just getting to spots deep into the defense.
Yep.
That was causing problems. Interject that second half with Sam Hoiberg enters the game with 16 minutes to play. And this is what Sam was able to do when he came in. In the last 16 minutes, Sam's defense limited Thornton to just 2 points and 2 shots over the final 16 minutes of the game.
That's
going to get overlooked, by the way. That is overshadowed based on Mass performance, CJ, Bryce, Alex play. That defensive stretch in the last 16 will get overshadowed.
So let's throw him in the starting point guard role, is what you're saying then.
I just threw the question out.
I'm just,
I threw the question out.
That's what you're insinuating.
But I do know, and you guys are putting me in my place. I just think he's playing really, really well. And both of you had said maybe that's the production that comes from Sam interjecting that energy when he comes off the bench.
Yeah, I think so.
But he brings that energy. He brings that intensity. The game changes. His teammates changes. And what he brings to the table is not only his defensive ability, but his hustle. I mean, every time you look up, there's a key rebound. There's a key loose ball that he's getting his hands on. He's hitting his open shot. He's hitting his free throws. He's doing it all when he's on there.
Mm-hmm.
He's making something happen. And should he start him? You know, that's $1 million question, because I like him coming off the bench. And I know, Will, you and I talked about that, because because you need that scoring and that game changer. And he's a game changer when he's on the court. So with him and CJ coming off the bench, and we forgot about Eli Rice.
Eli Rice, man.
Eli Rice comes
very
in there.
productive minutes.
Yes.
Like, it's not going to show up a ton of stats, but 14 minutes, 1 of 3 hit, 2 big free throws in that game.
How many rebounds did he have?
4 points. Yeah, 3 rebounds.
Yeah.
But he just plays really productive, tough minutes.
Yeah, tough minutes.
And again, you can go up and down this list. Will it be Mass, Alec Williams, Jamarcus Lawrence? I know a lot of people are down, but he played, if you look at him, bad shooting night, but he comes in with 4 rebounds, 6 assists.
Absolutely.
That's a stat filler. He had the one shot that made CJ, Sam, Eli. I mean, impressive stuff that's going on at home.
Yep. And let's get back to Lawrence. People got to realize his whole life has been pretty much playing a 2-guard, in high school. And as a 2-guard, your job is to score and to shoot, not run the team. And now he's been called upon for the first time in probably his career is to run the University of Nebraska basketball program, lead it and run the point. He's still adjusting. I talked to Bryce after the game the other day, and I just said, Bryce, do me a favor, talk to Lawrence, tell Lawrence sometimes he's moving faster than your team, than you all are. Tell him to slow down and let you all catch up and let the game come to him. And those are my words. And hopefully he'll figure it out.
A couple more stats before we go to the phone line real quick. We can hang on right there. Turnovers, Nebraska only 10 last night. Valued the ball, a couple dumb turnovers. They valued it 24-32 in the paint. They lost that margin. But a couple stats that'll stick out to you is the rebounding edge and 16 second chance points, and you got 21 points off the bench.
10 turnovers or less, great opportunity to win.
Let's go to Thew.
Thew Malone, what's up, my brother?
Hey, guys. T, I saw on Facebook you were still in town. I was so excited that you made this an extended trip. And now I'm very interested to see exactly how much PTO time you have left at work, if we can just keep you here for the remainder of the season. Because, I mean, when we play at home, it's great. I know you guys were at the game. I didn't make it, but they talked about it on Peacock after the game was over last night. The announcer even said that this Nebraska team at home is unstoppable. If they played the Final Four in the national championship game in Lincoln, Nebraska would be national champions. I thought that was kind of funny. But no, that was just great. What I saw last night is, as you guys have alluded to, you found the guy that was on. It was Rink. And what I've seen is it can be any given player any night that happens to be on, just depending on what the defense is throwing at us or who has the hot hand. And what I like about this team is that not only the coaching staff, but the teammates, they see it too out there. Because we can all remember a couple of years ago that, if we needed something, that ball was going to Bryce McGowan's. And sometimes he was on, and if he was not on, we were in trouble. And that's not the case this year. We find it could be one of 6 guys, and we find that guy, and we go with it, and things are going really well. I know there's a lot of what ifs. If we could replay a couple halves against Rutgers in Minnesota, be a half game behind Wisconsin, but we've got it right in front of us. Got the Maryland game coming up, and then Wisconsin coming to PBA. I don't know if you can stay that long. Obviously, we'd find that you're more welcome to stay at my house. Love to have you. Great to see you this past weekend, guys. And safe travels back. The weather's getting warmer, T, if you want to stay. So have a great week, guys.
Thanks to you. Appreciate it, brother. Thew Malone right there, Husker Army, hanging out with us. Hey, a few more things before we take a break here in a minute that we can get to. As we know, they got it done, 83-69. Another win at home, 13-1 at home, undefeated in conference at home. But Rick Mass said it the best in a quote. And he said, it's fun, but at the end of the day, we won one game. We took care of business at home and played great. But I want to emphasize to everybody, we've got to move on to the next one. We've got to actually get a road win now. That's our next goal.
Please.
There it is.
Yes.
They know. They know the mission.
Hey,
You're 1-4 on the road.
Yep. I always tell Coach Hoiberg, you got to have a short memory.
Mhm.
Win or lose, you got to focus on that next game and take a game at one game at a time, and make sure the kids are focused, and especially on the road, because I talked to Bryce as well, and he said, I don't understand why we don't have the same energy on defensively when we're on the road. I said, that's between your ears. I mean, it's the mindset.
That's it. It's a mindset.
It's the mindset.
And this is going to be a regular, like there's a lot going against road teams, especially coming up when you go to Maryland, right?
Yep.
Because now on the good side is Coach Holbert mentioned last time in his post-game radio show, you get a rest day. You get 2 days to put a plan, because Maryland, he said, Maryland's a team that nobody else in the conference does what Maryland does with the pressure and the changing of defenses and that. But then you're fighting against getting there and having an 11 o'clock start.
Yeah.
Noon out there, 11 o'clock start.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got to find a way.
Yes.
To do that. Unfortunately, it's not on Peacock because you're 3-0 on Peacock right now. Can we get that changed to Peacock?
I don't think so.
All right, you can't.
I don't like
3-0. Also, before we get out, shout out to students last night. Students were back.
Yes.
Back in full swing. I don't know how to say this if I get in trouble, but they were there was a kid last night. His last name was Bonner.
Yeah.
That is not what they were chanting at him as he was shooting free throws.
Which is funny because on TV it sounded like they were saying Bonner.
It was not. Use your imagination.
And then I saw people tweeting about it, and I'm like, this is why I love the red zone. This is why we need them.
Was
there.
on fire.
Yes, they were.
Last
It
night.
reminded me from a few years ago when Michigan came to town with Wagner. Wagner.
Yes, but
Wagner.
this was at first. I was sitting with my son and his buddy, 13-year-old kids. And when they figured it out, what he was saying, they were saying was like they couldn't stop laughing.
Hey,
and I tell you what, it worked because he went to the free throw line for 3 shots and missed them all. And it got every free throw. It got louder and more clear.
Yeah.
Last night.
That was awesome.
Last night.
That was huge. And I tell you what, our fans, and I've been saying this for years. I mean, we're different. I mean, just from an educational basketball IQ support, if you're winning, they're going to show up for you and they're going to help you out. Like I said, it's always a 10-point. Give us 10 points at home, no matter what. And then everything else is just,
it's
whatever,
gravy.
Whatever, it's gravy. And whatever happens defensive or how the refs call the games.
T, talk about who we're bringing on next segment.
Coach Bargen, yes.
Coach Bargen.
Coach Bargen, I met him in 1984. He was when I was getting out of the military. My Air Force coach contacted Larry Brown, who was at KU, and Larry Brown contacts Gary Bargen at Hut. Say, I got a player I want to take a look at. Can you bring him into your program? And never forget that. And flew down there and ended up meeting Coach Bargen. He gave me an opportunity and ended up following. I mean, well, I don't know how this happened, and that's
we
need. Yeah, we need to
clear this up.
We need to clear this up because I don't know how him and Derek Vick and I know how Derek Vick and I, because we both talked. Said,
we're
let's
going to
sign.
clear this up because
and I've never asked.
You get to ask him. You get to ask that question because it's impressive when we start talking about Coach Bargen and what he's done in the world of basketball.
Oh, absolutely.
His record at Hutch, unprecedented, and what he did there, and to go on and become the assistant under Coach Nee, and what he did after that.
And I would tell you this: I was pretty raw coming out of the military. I could play the game. I'm from Indiana. We can shoot it. We know the game. But when I got under Coach Bargen, the fundamentals and learning the game under his tutelage, it was unprecedented. And I owe him a lot, from that perspective. Mm-hmm. And when Derek Vick and I came to Nebraska, it was an easy adjustment. We played at the highest level. Of course, Hutchinson, we hosted a national tournament and played in the national tournament, ended up getting 3rd place there, and had a great experience traveling. So our transition was so much easier. But what he taught Derek Vick and I, just from a basketball perspective, was, is second to none. So, playing with Brian Carrs and the Bernard Days of the world, we blended in just immediately, from the JUCO ranks and coming into playing in the Big 8. And Coach Bargen had a lot to do with it. But I still need to figure out
we're going to figure that out.
How this happened.
We're going to figure. Also, I don't want to allude, not yours on Twitter, a resident Packer fan. He tweets in, come on, man. The best breaking news is Joe Barry is gone. They fired their DC. He's so happy. I want to give him a shout out because he's so happy at with all this stuff that's going down in Green Bay. So we got you, not yours. Hey, when we come back, we're going to have former Nebraska assistant coach Gary Bargen.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up. Everyone could use some free money.
I love me some free money.
How about $2,024? KFOR has New Year, New Cash just for you. Powered by NextLink Internet. To win, just log on to KFORnow.com. Sign up daily. That'll better your chances of scoring the free cash.
Hopefully buy some Chiefs tickets.
$2,024 is ready to be won by you now at KFORnow.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm Keith. Being a letter carrier and walking 20,000 steps, which equals up to about 10 miles a day, it's tough. I had back problems. That was scary. I've been delivering letters to the Good Feet store for over 6 years. The people at the Good Feet store really educated me and finally convinced me to try their arch supports. And lo and behold, I have no more back problems. Where I would be without them, I have no clue.
I bet you've heard of Good Feet too, and might also be thinking there's no way something as simple as Good Feet could help you. Well, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people just like Keith live a better life. Visit the store at 27th and Pine Lake Road across from South Point Mall or at goodfeet.com.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Come to the Good Feet store today and take a free test walk. You have nothing to lose except your pain.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, this is Dr. K with Lincoln Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with risk of serious side effects, call 402-520-8170.
Hey, it's Schmitty. If you've seen me lately, you know I'm, a bit smaller. I found a secret to losing weight, and in just 2 months, I've dropped 30 pounds. The secret, Lincoln Weight Loss. You too could lose up to 1 pound of fat every day and start feeling healthy and invigorated.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. For your free consultation, call 402-520-8170 or online at lincolnweightloss.com. That's lincolnweightloss.com.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. It's a great Wednesday. It's a victory Wednesday. Want to shout out a few people. Joe P, what's up? Joe P out there hanging out with us on the stream. Also, your buddy Colin out in London. He said you're looking good, Will.
Thanks, Colin.
He's taking care of you. He said you're looking good. Also, before we get to Coach Bargen real quick, T has a special message to maybe his sister and nephew.
Oh, yeah. Hey, big sis, Lanita Buchanan. We call her Nita Bu. And,
what's up, Nita Bu?
And Quan Zay. We took care of business. I know Buckeyes is your squad, but we had to take care of business last night. And and I look forward to talking to you when I get home and to rub it in a little bit more. But go Big Red and but go Buckeyes. I'll support them as long as they're not playing us.
Sorry, not sorry, sis. We love you though. Let's bring on Coach Gary Bargen in the house. Coach, good morning.
Coach, you got us,
Coach, you
man?
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
You bet.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
We're good. Well, thanks for joining us, man. It's a pleasure to have you. We got to meet you at the banquet last week, so it's an honor and a pleasure to have you. I'm going to ask you early on because I know you're still a Husker through and through, and you're still around. What'd you think about those Huskers last night taking down the Buckeyes?
Oh, they did well. Now, I didn't get to see the game because I was at a two grandsons' high school game, but I saw the results. It sounded like they must have played really well, especially the big guy, huh?
He did 34 points, 10 rebounds last night. He hit 6 threes. How the game has changed so much when the actual big guy can hit some threes.
Right. He transferred from Bradley, and that's where my son coaches. He coached him for 3 or 4 years there.
That's awesome. With that, because T told us that, did you get any background on Mass being at Bradley from your son and then knowing he was coming to Nebraska?
Yeah, we know him, because we would go over there for some of their games and got to know Rink really well, and actually talked to Rink last weekend when we were there for the Legends weekend. And he's a really great person. He's a very intelligent guy. He's already got a degree in physics from Bradley, and he was telling us how he's working on a master's degree now. And but he's glad to see that he had a great game and that the Huskers were successful again.
Hey, Coach, this is T. I just want to ask one quick question around him being from the Netherlands. I had a friend of mine sitting next to me, David Sanders, that made a comment that he just surpassed Richard Van Poelgeest as the best player from Netherlands. Do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Bradley has another guy from Netherlands who was a JUCO player at Mineral Area in Missouri and was the National Player of the Year, I think, about 3 years ago. And he's 6'9", and he's still at Bradley doing very well.
We're talking to former assistant coach Gary Bargen. Coach, you got to come back last week, and you got to meet a lot of former players. And, of course, Danny Nee was there. What was it like coming back to see Coach, and when was the last time you saw Coach?
Oh, gosh. It's been a lot of years because I've been retired for 9 or 10, 12 years, I guess, and probably at least 5 or 6 years before that I have actually seen him.
Good stuff. Well, it's glad to have you back. I got to ask you also, I do research, man. You've been doing this a long time, a Harding, Nebraska a person out there. What was the hardest job you ever, I mean, listen, Coach, first of all, your record at Hutch, oh my gosh, 199 and 56.
Well, yeah, that comes from being in a good school, great facilities, and then of course you can't win without having good players. We certainly had a lot of good players there.
I mean, how did you contain Henry T. Buchanan from just having a hot potato in his hand and shooting it all the time?
T, I was thinking about that this morning. T came, to Hutchinson from the service.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been in the service. He was, weren't you 24 years old, T?
Yes, I was. Coach.
Yeah. And Larry Brown, who was the head coach at KU, called me one day and said, "Hey, have you got room for a point guard?" And I said, "Well, I always got room for a good one." And he said, "Well, a friend of mine coaches in the service, and he's called me about this young man, and he said, would you be interested?" I said, "Yeah." So we talked, and Henry T. and his family came to Hutchinson, and we had 2 pretty good years there, especially that last one.
Yeah. What you were going to ask him something, T?
Oh yeah, here it goes.
Okay, hey Coach, D, Vic, and I, we haven't figured this out yet. You remember when Derek and I came to Nebraska with the for the recruiting trip, and you came with us, you flew with us, and Derek, Vic, and I haven't figured out. Were you already hired, or was it after the fact? How did that occur?
Let's just go back and review that a little bit. Actually, after Coach Nee got the job, within 2 weeks, he flew to Hutchinson. And we had just finished third at the national tournament. In fact, I was just looking at some of that stuff today.
Okay.
We didn't miss winning the championship very much. We got beat by San Jacinto in the semis by one.
Last second shot.
And San Jacinto ended up winning the next game for the national championship, and they were 37-0 that year. And they had 6 Division I players that all went to major schools the next year.
Wow.
And so but anyway, the recruiting of T and Derek to Nebraska, Danny came down and he sat in the stands there with me, and we watched our players just play pickup, And he looked at me and he said, how'd you get all these guys? And I said, well, you just recruit them. We had a 7-footer, 6'10", 6'6" shooting guard. We had 5 major college players that were sophomores, and we had 3 more that were major college that were freshmen or first year. And so he said, I want to recruit all these guys. And I said, well, some of them are pretty well decided, I think. The 6'10" was going to KU, and the 7-footer was either going to Indiana or Georgetown. He ended up going to Georgetown. Another guard, 6'6" guard, went to Oklahoma State. And so he tried to talk the 7-footer, and I think 7-footer and T and Vic both were taken on a visit to Nebraska. And at that time, I'm not sure whether I had committed to Coach Nee, because Coach Nee, it was about 2 weeks later, he called me one day, and he was already trying to recruit these guys. I don't think they'd been on the visit yet, but he called me. He said, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Close your door and sit down. I want to talk to you." And he said, Fran Fischello, who was a assistant coach for him at Ohio, had come to Nebraska with him as an assistant coach. And he had come in that morning and said, I can't recruit against Larry Brown at KU and Leonard Hamilton at Oklahoma State and Norm Stewart at Missouri. I can't do it. I'm going back to Ohio. And he was madder than a hornet. And he said, I want you to come up here and be assistant coach. And I said, I don't know. I don't think I want to do that. I know how those assistant coaches have to live on the road 365 days. Well, you need to do this. And so the next morning I said, well, I'll tell you what, under one stipulation, we've got a son that's going to be a senior in high school next year. And we got a daughter that's going to be a junior. And we got a daughter that's already going to go to Nebraska next year as a junior in college. I said, so only if those 2 middle ones will consent. Well, we talked to them that night, and they said, why don't you go check it out? So my wife and I got on a plane next morning and went to Lincoln, spent 3 days, and they pushed us pretty hard and wanted us to come and everything. And so we went back home with the understanding that if we would come, if the 2 middle ones consented. And we got home and they said, let's go for it. And I about fell off the chair. That was the reason we went. So I don't remember being there for that visit. In fact, I think I told you guys that I didn't want to be the factor, for your decision to go to Nebraska. And I think I stayed home from that trip. I don't think I went. I know you and Vic and Guillory went, but they liked it enough, and they took they decided to sign, and that was great for us.
Yep. But what you were on the trip though, Coach. D, Vic, and I talk about that a lot because we always looked at each other. Why is Coach going with us? but yeah, we did. Derek, Vic, and I talked right after we met with Coach Nee and gathered our thoughts and we liked the facilities and it was similar. Of course, a little bit upgrade from Hutch, but we just said, hey man, we like the facilities and Coach Nee was a pretty smooth talker as well, and we decided to sign and then we got even more excited when we found out you were coming with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was. We had that first year there at Nebraska turned into kind of a Cinderella deal.
Yeah.
It's a great story. We're talking to former assistant coach Gary Bargen. Coach, I want to talk about what it was like coaching under Danny Nee. I just met him for the first time last week, and it seems like a tough guy to disagree with. I mean, could you ever disagree with him?
Well, yeah, we did at times, but I'm not sure I ever won an argument. He was the boss.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's incredible. Again, we're talking to former assistant coach Gary Bargen. Coach, I want to talk to you about a few other things that you did as well, because we know about Hutch and the T story. We know about being an assistant, but you took on a bigger role in Nebraska in around 1999 and became an associate athletic director for compliance. And you did that for 10 years. I got to feel like that was a harder job than being on a bench with T and like with Coach Nee. Talk about that a little bit, because that seems like a big time job and with a lot of rules, laws, and regulations during a time where NIL and all that stuff didn't exist.
Well, actually, I moved over to that office in 1995.
Oh,
and Al Papik and I had gone way back. I knew Al when I was in high school. He was at Doane College as the athletic director and head football and track coach. So I knew him a long time. And in the Nebraska basketball office during the 9 years I was there, from 86 to 95, I was kind of a communication between Al Papik's office, the compliance office, and our office on rules and regulations and so on. So that year I had a chance to go to South Dakota State to be the head basketball coach in 1995-96. And my son, Mike, our youngest one, had just signed to go to Marquette and play. So that year coming up, if I took that job at South Dakota State, we'd live in Brookings, South Dakota, and my wife would have to drive on icy roads during the winter to either Sioux Falls or Omaha to fly to Milwaukee and watch him play. And I would, be coaching. And Al kept saying, why don't you come over here and work for me? And finally I decided that just because of that family deal, and maybe the money wasn't quite as good at South Dakota State then, I decided to move over into administration with Al. And yes, it was a challenge because there were a lot more. Well, there in some sense there was less rules, but than now. But in a lot of cases there was more rules. In that time, coaches could recruit 365 days a year. You never were home. And then those rules, when I moved over there, all changed, and you started having to document every telephone call the coach made. You could only call prospects one time a week, and they had to write that down, and we had to document that they weren't making more calls than one a week, and so on. And so it become a lot more strict rule-wise. Today, I think they can call them anytime they want to. They can go see them play. You can give them money now. all that NIL stuff back then, that was illegal. That was inducements. Today, student athletes get a lot of money just to be able to put their name. Yeah.
Now,
so,
Coach,
it was a challenge, and I will tell you, by the time I retired in 2012, I had seen a lot of different things But that's one of the things we always told the coaches at Nebraska when we were in charge of compliance, that we were on their team. We were trying to keep them out of trouble. And if they got into trouble, we would try to help them get out of trouble. And that's kind of where the philosophy we took in the compliance office, and the coaches and the staff and athletic part were outstanding as far as cooperation and everything. So, but I will tell you, when I retired in 2012, I felt like my shoulders raised about 6 inches.
I bet.
Well, Coach, taking a look at the team right now, 15-5, we got some talent. Talk about Coach Hoiberg. What is he doing right?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that has changed this year, and even last year to some extent, but especially this year, is that they're playing defense. They're playing defense way better than they did 3 or 4 years ago, and then of course, he's an outstanding offensive coach, execution-wise, and he can take his players and put them in positions to function the best for the team offensively as a team. And I think Rink Mass is a prime example of that. I heard Fred talking on television last night after their game win. I think it was on BTN. That how Rink, is a great passer, and he can shoot it from 3, and he can, he's an intelligent player. So he has the ability to put each one of those kids in a position to help that team be successful. But defensively, they are so much better than they were 3 or 4 years ago.
Coach, this is T again. Hey, first of all, I want to tell you thank you for everything, giving that opportunity at Hutch and coaching me as well at here at Nebraska. And Derek Vick feels the same way. We've been knowing you since 1984 and stay in contact, and that's an awesome thing there. But also, I want to bring up Dana Altman. And now, do you still talk to Coach Altman at all?
Yes, I do. Not as much maybe as I did before, but I watch him on television every time I get a chance. So many times they're on Pac-10 network, and I don't get that. But any other time he's on, I watch him, and I'll drop him a text message and say, hey, that was a good game, or what happened here, or what happened there. And we definitely stay in communication without question.
Yeah, I call him and try to get tickets for the Oregon at Arizona State, so I stay in contact with him as well, and I do the same thing. I like Coach Altman because now you coach him, right, in Fairbury? Right. He
played for me for 2 years at Fairbury, and then went on from there to a school in Arizona, Western Arizona, I think it was, and then got his went and got his master's degree at Western State in Colorado, and then actually came back to Fairbury and coached at the junior college for 1 year. So, and then from there went to Moberly and so on. So we've been in, very close to Dana for years and his family.
Great guy.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. Coach, one more before we get chatted, man. We thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you with us. I have to ask you, I know you have had a lot of rewarding experiences in your life, whether it be at Hutch or coaching and doing compliance stuff, but I have to imagine that with as many grandchildren you have, you're busy and it's very rewarding for you.
We have been so blessed. I mean, that's one of the reasons we moved to Kansas City when I retired in 2012, was because both of our daughters lived here, and 10 of our 16 grandkids were here.
Wow.
And after 1 year, that one daughter, her husband got promoted in a big J.E. Dunn construction here in Kansas City to Austin, Texas. And so we only have one daughter here, but she had 6 of the 16. And then, of course, Mike's at Bradley coaching, and he's got 4. And the youngest daughter in Austin has 4. And Jed, who was number 2, he moved from San Francisco 3 years ago to Austin, and he's got 2. And so we've got grandkids that play basketball, that play football, play volleyball. We just have a junior granddaughter that committed to the University of Missouri to play volleyball in 2 years. So we're excited. We've got one grandson playing at University of Central Missouri, and he's a junior. And here's a kid that was diagnosed with cancer, had some things taken off his back. He gets treatment for 13 months, once a month, and he's still playing.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
And so we just, like I say, we have been so blessed, to be able to either go to their games or to watch them online. It's just a true blessing.
Wow. Well, Coach, that's awesome. And hopefully there's I heard the word Missouri in there. Hopefully there's a pipeline of Husker Hoopers or some kind of Huskers in the near future for us.
Well, I hope so. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Coach. We appreciate your time, my friend. Take care of yourself, and hopefully we see you around PBA here soon.
Bye, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Bye.
Coach. Former Coach Gary Bargen. Great stuff from him. And if you missed anything of that, you can go to KFORnow.com after the show. We'll have that spot up for you. He brings up a great point about Rink's passing. Did you guys know that he is the leading assist guy on our team? He's tied. There's 2 guys, 55 assists apiece, by the way. Rink and Bryce Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Here's your assist leader.
Wow.
Tied for the top assist.
Well, that's interesting. And that's his offense. That's Coach Hoiberg's offense. You don't have the point guard who dominates the ball, and you got the point forwards, and that's, and that's what, at that top, it's what happens. And he is a great passer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good stuff. Again, man, thanks to Coach Gary Bargen for hanging out with us. Take a break, and we'll go and serve some stories that we missed.
More next on the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Hey, Outdoor Nation, Jeff and Hershey here from Nebraska Game and Parks for Nebraska Outdoors, and this is your outdoor tip of the week.
Jeff, more and more adults are finding the fun and excitement of getting outdoors and hunting, and we've got something to help.
We absolutely do, Hershey. It is called LearnHunting.org. LearnHunting.org was a program designed with the International Hunter Ed Association agencies across the Midwest for just that purpose of matching experienced instructors with those novices who are just learning to hunt. For adults, and a lot of adults take hunter education and they need an extra step out into the field, and LearnHunting.org is designed to do that. Not only do we help pair you with instructors that have the skills and techniques that you're looking for, but we are also providing, through the help of the International Hunter Ed Association, online learning modules for your learning pleasure.
For more ideas and help getting outdoors, join us every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. for Nebraska Outdoors right here on KFOR.
And remember, time spent, LearnHunting.org.
Time well spent.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Be the Life of the Party.
Okay, first turn the music off, then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty. It's the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show at the Sand Hills Global Events Center, January 26th, 27th, and 28th. Find a wide variety of guns, ammo, and shooting accessories for hunting and target shooting enthusiasts. Military supplies, knives, and other sporting goods will also be available. Check out the new hours on Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. Admission is only $8 and parking is free for the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show, January 26th, 27th, and 28th.
I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side.
Welcome back in the morning hookup special. Thanks here to Coach Gary Bargen hanging with us on the morning hookup. Triz is a good friend, man. Good friend of the show, by the way. His dad's a legend in Nebraska basketball. He is the one that said, someone tell T to sit down up front.
Yeah, I stand. I stand what 90% of the game. I'm standing where I can't sit. Y'all to see me at home, I'm pacing.
Yeah,
I'm pacing.
That's so funny. Appreciate you, Triz, for hanging out with us. Let's go to the phone lines. We got a guy from Jacksonville, Florida. Ernesto, what's up, my man?
Not too much. Just past the home that Scott Frost built in Orlando, and just past Cocoa Beach, where Kelly Slater made it famous. But heading down for my daughter's wedding. What are you guys up to?
No, just doing a show. Just bringing stuff to the people.
Well, I sent you another care package. You guys better be looking out for.
Man, I can't wait.
And just make sure the Wicked Witch of the West didn't get it. And I need you to text me some drink ideas because it's all you can drink. And I'm moving over to the harder stuff because the beer just fills me up. So anything you can do will help. And you guys have a great weekend. And hey, Will, stay away from those scrubs. I don't want them from you. See ya.
Appreciate it, Ernesto. Have a great trip, man.
Stay away from the Rumplemans.
The Rumplemans, man. All right, let's do some stories that we missed.
All right.
The stories we missed. The morning hookup.
Boy, I tell you what, in the NBA, a quick change. What have you done for me lately, or whatever you believe? Lost the locker room, but man, I don't ever remember a team being 30-13, second in the East, getting a coach fired. The Bucks have moved on from their coach, and reporting right now, Doc Rivers is going to be back on that bench. Wow, 30-13. Apparently, the higher up didn't think that he could lead. Mr. Griffin could lead them to a championship.
Does that mean they're bringing Mark Jackson back?
Yeah, right. Wow, that's incredible, man.
Yeah, when Giannis comes out and says, I'm not feeling this coach, you make a change. You listen to your franchise player for sure. That is questionable.
It's questionable out there.
You had some new MLB Hall of Famers.
Yeah, what do you make of those?
Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, Todd Helton. I think it's fine.
Who are you balking at on that thing?
Probably Joe Mauer.
What's wrong with Joe Mauer?
No, don't get me wrong. I love Joe Mauer. He was like my first big baseball player that I followed as a kid. But out of Todd Helton and Beltre,
a lot of people are balking at Joe Mauer right now. But Beltre 95%, 75% to get in. Beltre 95, Helton 70, almost 80%, 76 guys that missed out.
Yeah.
That are still on the ballot. Billy Wagner 70, almost 74%. Gary Sheffield 64%. Andrew Jones, I think one of the greatest infielders ever to play the game. 62%. Beltran 57%. Then you got the who's who, A-Rod 35% on down that list.
Joe Mauer was awesome. Don't get me wrong. Minnesota Twin legend. AL MVP one year.
Yeah.
Had like 3 batting titles. I'm a big Joe Mauer guy. So I'm okay with it, actually.
Definitely worth it out there.
I have another story.
Yeah, let's roll.
Tristan Thompson.
You see this?
Center for the Cavs. Has just been suspended for 30 games or something like
25
that?
games
25
suspension.
games for doing some steroids. Now,
no pay.
Now, here's what's crazy. And T, I'm bringing this up to you. The dude is averaging, when it comes to points, He's averaging 3.8 points a game. Like, what are you doing taking steroids when you can't even score the ball?
Well, if he's averaging 3.8, he's not getting on the floor. So how much time was he
what's
playing?
his minutes?
Yeah, what's his
minute?
minute?
He's averaging 12 minutes a game. And he's taking steroids.
Somebody snitched.
You think so?
Somebody had to snitch.
Somebody snitched on the man. What's that man doing, man?
Well, hey, let's be honest. He's done. He can't come back from this.
No.
He should retire and walk off. He got a ring. Didn't he get a ring? With the
did he get
Cavs?
one with LeBron?
I think he did.
When LeBron went back?
Yeah, when he went back.
I think he did.
Yes, I think he did too. With Kevin Love.
Kevin Love,
Kyrie,
my man.
Yeah.
By the way, Rink Mast is reminding me so much of Kevin Love. The way he plays and his shot looks a lot like Kevin Love. Kevin Love could also shoot the three, and he could rebound like crazy. He reminds me so much of K Love.
I like Bill Walton too. I mean,
you hear him talk.
Yes. With the with the half hook. No one talks like Bill Walton. I mean, it's
Speaking of guy needs to be tested.
Yes, something's going on there. But anyway, I like the way Mass just, the left hand, the right hand, the passing, the shooting. He could shoot better than Bill Walton, but from the inside and knowing the game and the basketball IQ and making guys better, Mass is the guy.
There was a question I was going to ask you today, but we're running out of time. I'm going to wait till next Wednesday when we have you on, because it's probably going to be the hardest question you've ever been asked. And it's going to take a while to, unfold the answer. So I'll bring that up next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
See, folks, they don't realize that I don't know what questions they're ever going to ask.
No, we do not. You heard it. We don't prep people, our guests.
No.
We don't prep them.
So every response is just spontaneous. So you'll get that spontaneous response.
Looking forward to it.
Also, today the day that Jim Harbaugh moves to the Chargers.
You think so?
They're getting close to getting the deal struck.
Wow.
They're getting close. I keep reading articles about
that's a
stuff
nice hire, though.
that he's getting close to getting that deal struck coming up.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm just saying it's out there.
Well, T, you flying out today?
Yes, actually, I'm heading to the airport in 5 minutes.
When we get off the show, T's hanging out, man. He's head out back to the warm weather. So, T, appreciate you, my man. Appreciate
absolutely.
you, T. Will Wilson.
Thanks for having me, man.
Also, everybody out there, thanks for chiming in, taking the time to hang out with the morning hookup. You can check out podcastgalefornow.com. Tomorrow, let's cash a couple tickets. Marco DeAndro, wagertalk.com.
Go Brian Buchanan. Get it right. I'll give you a call a little bit later.
Get it right, BC. You guys have a great hump day. Catch you on a Thursday.